ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to Real World Magic, where we make your life more magical. My name is Neil, I'm going to be your magical host, and in today's video I'm going to explain why wizarding potion and subscription boxes tend to leak. Okay, so you've probably seen a huge number of unboxing videos from Geek Gear, Wizarding Trunk, Hagrid's Trunk, Loot Crate, although I think they're probably out of business now. There's a whole load of different wizarding subscription boxes, and all of them have potions from time to time, and 99% of the time they seem to leak. Why is that? Well, I think it's probably because of the ingredients that they use, and it's something that I've experienced myself when I was trying to make my own potions, and I know how to get over it. So let's have a look at some examples of it leaking first, and then I'll explain why that is.
Oh no, something has definitely leaked in here. There's like green troll snot over everything that's making things like... Okay, so just before we carry on, something has leaked in this box.
Okay, so it's kind of gunky. They not only leak, but also after they leak, and this is what kind of made me think that I probably know what causes the problem. They tend to go quite sticky and sometimes quite crusty and hard. So that's what gave it away for me. And I think that it's probably due to the thickening agent. Now, commercial thickening agents can be used to prevent people from choking when they're drinking. Now, there's a medical condition called dysphagia, which means that if you drink liquids, it might often go down into your lungs and could cause serious problems. And so there's commercial thickeners that you can buy that thicken up the water without changing the taste very much. So let's head on over to my kitchen and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the stuff right here. Not the cereal, the teas, coffees and spaghetti. I'm talking about this stuff. We call it Nutilis powder, and it's basically a dysphagia powder that you add to liquids. So I've got here a measuring jug. I will explain exactly how it works just after I fill it up with some water. Okay, so here we have some water. It's not very much water, but I really don't want to waste all this sort of stuff, but it will definitely explain to you how it goes. Just so we can see the water a little bit easier as well, I'm going to do what they do on the Always Ultra adverts and put in some blue food colouring. Not very much, because it really doesn't need very much for you to see it. Swirl that around a bit. So there we have some blue water. So I've coloured this just to make things a little bit easier. And we've got the Nutilis dysphagia powder. All we really need to do to thicken this stuff up is to add a couple of teaspoons, and it does come with its own measuring cup as well. Add it to the water rather than the other way around. Let's do 4, I suppose. They're 4 quite big ones. Put that lid back on, put that to one side, give that a good stir up, and you can instantly see it thickens like that, which is lovely, because that's kind of the gloopy kind of texture that you want for things like Polyjuice Potion, or I guess anything else really. You can obviously get that to a much nicer consistency if you do something else with it, like adding some more water or a different kind of fluid or whatever, but that can be almost like pudding kind of texture depending on how much you add. So let's add some more water, get that up to a potion consistency. Okay, so added some more water, give it a good stir up. Okay, so it's kind of lumpy. So all we need to do now is get a whisk. That's more like it. So that is properly gloopy, but it's not as gloopy as it was before. So that's fine by me. Okay, once we've done that, to demonstrate what's going on here, I'll need to cover it with some cling film. So we get an airtight seal over it, and then you can see what's actually happening here. Okay, so we've got some cling film. We're just going to cover that over as if this is a potion bottle. Okay. We'll just cover it over nice and tight. And it's really important that this is reasonably airtight so that we can see what happens, and hopefully in a minute this is going to start bulging up. And the reason being is that this liquid here is reacting to the dysphagia powder, and it's creating a very subtle but very significant reaction which creates gas in here, which will make this bulge up over time. So I'm going to turn this off now and put it onto a time-lapse video, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Now you can probably see from here that that's actually starting to get quite tight, and it's actually bulging a little bit. I don't know whether you can see that, hopefully you can, hopefully it's picked up on the camera. Basically means that if you put it into a bottle like this and cork it, all of the gases that are released will build up tension or pressure here, which will then pop this out. And if that pops out, then if it's on its side, it will leak. But even if it isn't, this stuff will often be ejected at the same time. I discovered it after making this potion, which I tried to thicken up. And thankfully now I have actually worked out a way of doing it and thickening it up that doesn't involve this particular method. So this is the Wolfsbane potion. It's available from my Etsy store. I'll put a link just up here if you want to go and visit that and buy one of these things. But yeah, you can actually overcome the issue. It's fairly straightforward to do that, and all you really need to do is to leave this to react and then calm down, and then add a bit more of this stuff and then leave that to react and then calm down again. It will thicken up. It does take a little bit of time, and it takes a lot more powder than you would initially think to get back to that state, because after this reaction it then sort of almost unreacts and it becomes a lot more liquidy again. Doesn't always go back to exactly the same fluid level as the water, but it will go back quite a long way. So yeah, hopefully that will explain what's going on there. And the potion makers just need to be a bit more patient. They need to leave it uncovered like this to temper so that it can expand as it wants to and then contract again. And then you can add a bit more and again leave it for a day or two, and then you should be able to bottle it perfectly safely, and you'll have a nice thick gloopy liquid that you can send out to people. But don't send it like this. I know it looks cool now, but unless you're going to wax seal it shut, which is what I did, it takes a certain amount of pressure then, but even then that's not foolproof, so it's probably best just to temper it like that. Now this is one of the first thickened potions that I made, and you can tell that it is a little bit thicker than water, but not much. So this is what the dysphagia infused fluid will look like after quite some time. As you can tell, the cork is still in. It did pop out twice, but after I worked out what was going on, I left it for a bit, and now it's absolutely fine. And this is the polyjuice, which was significantly thicker than water before. Now it's quite a bit thicker than water, but still not 100%. And as you can see, there is a bit of sediment there. It's definitely a lot thicker than water, but it's not the sort of gloopy jelly that it was when it was first made. And this is what I'm talking about, the sort of backwards reaction almost. So if you do want to make like a thick, gloopy, nectar-y kind of consistency using this powder, that's fine, but you will need to use a lot of it and to leave it, and then to probably add some more and then leave it again. But the pressure hasn't been enough to blow off the cap of this one since I've left it about 3 or 4 days. So you will need to make it, leave it uncapped, and then once it's at the right consistency and it's been stable for a couple of days, put the lid back on. I totally get why you would want to use that powder, because it is food safe, which means that this isn't going to kill anyone, but it's a good idea just to be patient with it. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate every like, every subscribe, every view, every share, everything. I really love you. Thanks very much. So please do share it with everybody. Click that like button to like it, subscribe, ding that bell button to be notified of future uploads, and I will see you again next time with some more magical awesomeness. But until next time, as always,
Stay magical. Please subscribe to Real World Magic.
While you're there, click the bell button to be notified of future uploads, and have a look at all of my social stuff. Remember to donate on Patreon if you really, really liked it, and I'll see you again next week.